All right, here we are. Good morning. So let's start sitting in Sukhasana with the crossed legs. We just need the usual assortment blocks today. And then here we are. Taking a breath, using those arms alongside to lengthen up. Feeling space between the vertebrae, space in the hip sockets. Whatever little squinging you want to do. Now let's do the Amy around, circling around. So we've got the hands on the knees as we come forward, over to the right, around to the back, and over to the left. Continuing around with your own timing, your own range of motion. Keeping that breath going. We'll do a couple more this direction, and then we will go the other direction, coming back to the center, and then front, left, around to the right. We'll finish up with this direction to resolve back into the center. Inhale and exhale, feeling all that movement, all that energy settle deep in your body. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we'll reach out wide through the collarbones to the fingertips, breathing the arms up. Inhale and exhale, breathing them down. And let's do that twice more. Strong shoulder blades in the upper back. And then changing the cross of the legs. Let's come forward and over, breathing wide across the back of the body. Nice big round breaths. Inhale and exhale. And then we will come up and we will ripple, lifting up that upper chest and coming forward and over. And rippling back. Again, on your own timing and your own range of motion. Let's see if you can switch the direction of the rippling or not. Maybe you're perfectly happy rippling whatever direction you are going. And then we will finish up with this. Riding back up there on those sitting bones. Inhale and exhale. And let's slide those legs straight out in front of Dandasana. Giving that lift up from behind again, stretching long through the legs, coming forward. You can keep pressing from behind or maybe bringing the hands on the legs or onto the floor alongside. Not struggling to get folded over more deeply, but just encouraging more spaciousness, more length down the back of the legs, a little more softness in the jaw and the breath. And then coming up, and let's bend the right leg, standing on the left leg straight in front, pulling that right heel in as far as you can without really rounding your back too much. As vertical through the top of the head as you can be, and we will twist to the right. Let's take a little swoop with the arm, reaching forward with that right arm, up and over and into the twist. Maybe bringing the left arm across the right leg if you want. Can be the straight arm or the bent elbow in the good luck kitty pose. Vrichyasana number 3. And then coming to the front, and we'll let that right knee drop out to the side in Janu Shirsasana. You can be straight to the side, more like tree pose, or give that right hip a pull back, extending it out. And here we are facing our left leg. And coming forward over the left leg. Let's start by reaching with the right arm. Feeling like you're trying to get your right shoulder lower than your left, even though that might not really happen. And then we'll bring the left arm to meet the right. Then we're going to twist to the right into Parvrita Janu Shirsasana. the twisting side bend over the left leg, twisting up and under, maybe coming up a little higher for a moment, getting that twist, finding your side bendiness, and then coming over deeper. And as always, but sometimes we do forget, breathing. And then coming up, sliding that right leg straight out in front again. And we'll bend the left leg, foot on the floor, knee to the ceiling. See how close can you get that left heel to the left sitting bone. Lengthening up through the top of the head. Let's take a swooping with the left arm, reaching it forward, reaching it up and around and into the twist to the left. And then maybe bringing that right arm across. You can have the arm straight and or bend the elbow long through the top of the head. And back to the front, and we'll take that left leg out to the side, or maybe a little side back. Standing on our right foot on the wall in front of us, and a little feeling of twisting to the right as we reach with the left arm down the right leg. Thinking of getting the right, left, said right, left too many times for my brain. Getting the left shoulder lower than the right, even though that might not actually happen. And bringing that right arm to meet the left, coming out over the right leg. And we will twist to the left into Parvrita Janu Shirsasana, twisting up under the left arm. Maybe a little squinginess to get into a better position. And then here we are breathing. And come up. And we'll slide that left leg forward to meet the right. Take a little forward bend here. All right, and let's come up in downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana, walking the dog. Anything else you want to do here? All right, and then finishing up with that dog walking, and here we are in the best downward facing dog of this moment. Inhaling up to the sitting bones, exhale, pouring down the backs of the legs. And then let's come forward to the plank and setting the knees down on all fours. So we're going to Asana Namaskar, knees, chest, chin. Let's do a few cats and cows. So like a little wind up into it. And then sometime in the next breath or two, Asana Namaskar, knees, chest, chin, or any other means into the floor, into the cobra. And making this first cobra, whatever kind of cobra you want to do. And then calming down. Then we'll do the three smaller ones, working the upper back, maybe not even using the hands on the floor at all. Inhale and exhale up. Inhale and exhale down. And one, and one, and two. So maybe there ends up being more than three, and two, depending on when you started. And three, and three. And then let's do that with lifting one leg. We'll lift the right leg and hold one, two, maybe using a little press with the hands and coming down. And lifting the left leg. Breathe and hold, three. Coming down once more, right and left, and right leg. And down and left leg. And down. And we will heal ourselves back up. Maybe a couple cat and cow ripples again. Downward facing dog. And if you want to go, well, let's not go through another vinyasa. We want to save our wrists because more fun to come. So let's make our feet a little wider than hip distance and we'll do the swivel dog. So taking the heels over to the right, trying to get the edges of the feet all the way to the floor. And maybe seeing about a swivel plank or not. And then we will go to the other side, swiveling over to the left. So remember, at any time you can take a break and coming down, giving those wrists and arms a break. Let me see how the swivel plank feels, or just a little shift forward. Maybe not all the way to a plank, and then we'll finish with this left side. And we will lift our right leg up, reaching long through the heel. Hover plank, knee forward. Inhale and exhale, knee forward, lifting back up, three-legged dog. Bend the knee dog at the high fire hydrant. And through to the lunge. Taking a few breaths here in the long, low lunge. Nice, strong, straight left leg. Easing that back left knee down. We're going to come up with the arms wide to the side and then Jayasana in the Titanic position. And then we'll do a circle with the wrists. 3, 2, a nice, gentle, stretchy, easing, circling, not a grinding, crunching, circling, other way. 3, 2. Breathing those arms up overhead. And we'll circle the arms all the way around and back up overhead. And namaste in front. And then let's turn to the elephant rider. And we'll do a couple slides and then maybe into the low side lunge. So if you're going to want your block there, put it back by the left foot. I'm having to sit on 2 blocks today. Let's slide to the left, just straight across, not too much down. And we'll slide across to the right. And then slide across to the left. And coming down any amount, or you could stay up there high. Or sit all the way on the floor. And here we are in the low side lunge or something like it. Let's expand the arms, making a twist to the right toward the front of the mat. Bringing that right arm over the ear, side bending toward the back of the mat. And a big reach around with the right arm back to namaste. And then coming back up off the blocks and up into the air. And let's go into the wide leg forward bend. Prasarita Padottanasana. Smoothing things out. And then we'll turn to the right lunge, our front of the mat again, to step forward. Into the concave, back halfway up, folding over. Breathing, 3, 2, 1. Coming up to standing, big front body yawn. And arms down long through the top of the head. Here we are at the front of the mat. And we'll circle the shoulders to interlock the fingers behind. Lengthening up the front of the body to lift the chest, to lift the chin. Lift a little more. And coming forward and over, reaching away through the hands.
And releasing the hands. Concave back, folding over, jumping or stepping back through the vinyasa, any version. Downward facing dog.
Then from downward facing dog, we'll be going into a child's pose for a few breaths before we do all that on the left. And then into child's pose. Nice big round breaths. Coming back up to downward facing dog. All right, we're going to do all the swivelings again, but over to the left first. All right, swiveling those heels to the left. Maybe coming forward, maybe just a little forward and back, maybe finding where's that swivel leg. And then we'll come back to the center and over to the right. And back to the center. Let's lift our left leg up. Hover plank knee forward. Lifting back up. Then the knee dog at the high fire hydrant. And through to the lunge. And a nice strong, long, low lunge for a couple breaths, really working the right leg. So the lunge is not all about our front leg as it tends to be talked about in fitness ways of talking. And then we will ease that right knee down. And we'll come up, reaching the arms out wide to the side like the Titanic. And we'll circle the wrist, maybe doing the fist this time. 3. You want to ease your wrist joint, not strain it more. And then we'll go the other direction. 3, 2, 1. And breathing those arms up overhead. Circling the arms all the way around and back up overhead. Namaste in front. And turning to the elephant rider. Ah. So I suspect at this point we've all got our ways of doing the low side lunge. Maybe you just do the low side lunge and it's not a big problem. Okay, let's slide first. Right, left, and then right to the low side lunge. Left, low side lunge. So sliding toward the right, the back of the mat. And then across to the left. And to the right again. And come down into the low side lunge. Wedging that left arm inside. No, the right arm inside the leg. I'm facing the long side of the mat, so I'm thinking I'm supposed to be right, left mirror. Anyway, here we are long through the top of the head. We'll expand the arms, making a twist to the left toward the front of the mat. Bringing that left arm over the ears, side bending toward the back of the mat. And a big reach around, back to namaste. And coming up into the wide leg forward bend. Breathing here, smoothing and evening everything out. And we'll turn to the left lunge at the front of the mat and stepping forward into the concave back, folding over. Let's just take one deep breath. Coming up to standing, big front body yawn. And arms down, long through the top of the head. Let's circle the shoulders to interlock the fingers. Once again, after we've vinyasa, we'll take a little pause in child's pose. As we lift up the front of the body to lift the chest, to lift the chin. And coming forward and over. And release the hands. Concave back, folding over, jumping or stepping back, vinyasa, downward facing dog. And then coming into child's pose, being easeful, but still present. All right, let's come up in downward facing dog. There will be more swiveling. This time, maybe we're going to take our swivel all the way to the side plank, or maybe not. All right, a little space between the feet as we swivel the heels to the right. And then forward to the swivel plank. Maybe this is good enough. Or bringing the left arm up and we go into a side plank. You can always set your right knee down on the floor as needed. See if you can stay low as you put your left hand back on the floor and get into that swivel plank again. And then up to downward facing dog, to the center. Let's lift the right leg up. Maybe a hover plank or not, depending on how your wrists are doing. If not, we'll be going to the low lunge again. We'll all meet up there. Dog at the high fire hydrant. And through to the lunge. Here we are in the long, low lunge. Ah. And let's take a twist to the right. Pulling the right outer hip back and down. And
a big reach around with the right arm, and we'll twist to the left into the side angle, turning your left toes to face the long side of the mat, wedging that right arm inside the right leg on the block, maybe on the floor or on your knee. See, we're still swiveling back and forth. Now we're doing it with the upper body. Let's come up in the warrior two, reaching with that left arm, coming up, warrior number two, Virabhadrasana number two. Checking the alignment of that right leg, checking in with your shoulders, let them go, holding yourself up from the center, and breathing, inhale and exhale. And we'll dancing warrior, right arm up and away. And into the triangle, Trikonasana, feeling that twisting to the leftness. And then we'll come down and step forward into the concave back, letting a little space, folding over. Deep breath. And then we'll come up on tippy fingers or maybe a block, and we'll take a twist to the right. And coming back into the forward bend. Deep breath. And coming up to standing big front body yawn. And around to namaste in front, samasthiti steadiness. All right, coming over. Big lift up. And diving over. Concave back, folding over, jumping or stepping back through the vinyasa or not. And then we can be doing child's pose for a few breaths. Or you can hold your downward facing dog. And wherever we are, finding some kind of easefulness, letting go of any tension and holding and gripping. And we're back up and downward facing dog and around. We'll go to the left. All right, a little space between the feet. Swivel those heels over to the left. Swivel dog. Out to the swivel plank. And then still feeling that twist up with the right hip bone as we take our right arm off the floor into the side plank. So you're getting more of the hips and the whole body to make that side plank. And then see if you can still swivel and put the right hand down. Finding that weird twist again. Back up to swivel dog. Back to the center. Let's lift our left leg up. Maybe the hover plank. Dog at the high fire hydrant, and then we'll all meet up in the long, low lunge. All right, twisting to the left. Pulling that left outer hip back and down. And bringing the left arm down, and we will twist right into the side angle pose. With that left arm on the block, on the floor, on your knee, wherever it needs to be. And see if you can do that twist all the way from the whole body, pulling up that left or the right hip bone there. So in some ways, our right leg and our right hip are still trying to swivel. And then coming up in the warrior number 2. Check the alignment on that left leg, knee over the foot, knee over the center of the foot. Shoulders down, center up, breathing. And we'll dancing warrior, left arm up and away. And into the triangle, Trikonasana. Twisting up to the right. And coming down, 2 step forward. And into the concave back. Reaching out and over. And we will come up on tippy fingers or maybe the block there as we twist to the left in the forward bend. And bringing that left arm down. Deep breath. Coming up to standing, big front body long. And around to namaste. So in this last section, we'll be turning around to face the back of the room, or back of your mat, just so you know. And we'll also be doing the fallen triangle, as you might have guessed. That's where we take our leg out to the side. Remember, you can do that with both hands on the floor, or you can take the arm up so it's like a exploded side plank. Either one, whatever is going to work for you. Or you can just sit down on your mat in the angle pose, the straddle facing kind of the side or back diagonal.
But meanwhile, right now, we're into Dasana, Samasthiti. Inhale and exhale, coming back into that moment. We know some things that might be coming, but they are not important right now and right now. And then let's release the hands. Big front body yawn up and diving over. Concave back, folding over, jumping or stepping back, vinyasa, downward facing dog. And we won't have an official child's pose there this time after the dog, but you can have an unofficial one, of course. All right, so we're going to go to that fallen triangle without fussing around and wearing our wrists out more. Let's lift our right leg up. And we'll dog at the high fire hydrant. We'll hover plank, pulling the knee over to the left elbow, set the outer edge of the right foot onto the floor, slide it out, turn on to the inner edge or sole of the left foot. So you can stay here and really press down into the leg so there's a little lift up, and or taking the left arm up, pressing up. And then we'll ease ourselves down to the floor with a little pivot through the hips. And we're in Konasana, facing kind of the diagonal back of our mat. So if you really want to square up to the side, you could. And thank goodness here we are, reaching wide between the inner thighs and coming forward. Inhale and exhale. A couple more breaths here. And coming up. And then we're going to the running deer facing the back of the mat. So we turn our right leg in and our left leg out, and a little sort of quarter pivot to face the back of the mat with the inside outside legs. And we will put the right hand on the left knee, so it's a little bit of a twist to the left, but first we'll side bend, bringing that left arm up and away toward the right leg. And we'll bring that left arm down the front to swirl around and keep going, swirling around into the swirling galaxy, coming down and around. Inhale and exhale, sinking down toward the forearms on the floor. Maybe having your imaginary bolster there in front of you. In your body front, so you could be resting on it. I don't know, I'm not sure where the front is now. No. And then we'll
we'll just sort of scoop ourselves up and into the forward bend facing the back of the mat. Ah, deep breath. And we'll take a little concave back, which is essentially a deep breath with a little ripple through the body. And we'll step back with the left leg. So we're in our right lunge, coming up in the warrior number one. Or you could go down and do a kneeling lunge if you would rather, or even a kneeling lunge with the hands on the floor, but some kind of front to back lungy thing. Or like me, I've made a nice, small, non-straining warrior one. Breathing up the front, down the back. And then let's take a half circle around to namaste with those arms strong into the center. And then just pouring down the inside of the right leg, turning to the wide leg forward bend. Breathing here, 3, 2, 1. And around to our original front of the mat, and we end up with our left leg in front, so that's how you know you went the right way. But now it's not going to matter because we're going to step back. If you want to put in a vinyasa, go ahead. If you want to take a child's pose instead, doing that. And sometime soon, we will all meet up in downward facing dog and head around on the left. All right, so there's our left leg, and it's coming up. Bend the knee dog at the high fire hydrant. Hover plank, left knee to the right elbow, sliding that left leg out to the side, pivoting on the feet. So really get the edges of the feet on the floor nice and solid to lift up. Maybe bringing that right arm up, pressing up even more from underneath the hips. And then we'll ever so gracefully sit down in Konasana, pivoting the legs around in the hips. And here we are, safely on the floor. Giving a lift from behind, then coming forward, however works best for you right now. Inhale and exhale. So we're not doing any specific little variations. Maybe you're doing some little squingy thing here, but staying present with each breath and each moment, just holding this simple symmetrical shape. And come up. And we'll run in gear to the back of the mat, turning that left leg in, bending the right knee, making kind of a little quarter turn. So now our right leg is kind of the front leg. And just a little twisting to the right to get our left hand on the right knee. We take our right arm up and away in the side bend. Letting that right arm come down the front and carry you around, swirl you around and down to the right into the swirling galaxy. Being patient, giving yourself a couple breaths to get that left forearm to sink down. And then here we are, breathing. Yep. And then we'll just gather our legs in underneath ourselves to come up into the forward bend, facing the back of the mat. Inhale and exhale. Concave back and folding over. And then we'll step back with the right leg into the lunge. And whatever sort of lunge you want to do, the default will be coming up in the warrior number one. Breathing, feeling that circle of breath. That back bendiness wherever it is in your lunge. Usually it's from the top of the head to the back leg, the right leg at this point. We'll take a half circle around to namaste in front. Reaching down inside the left leg, turning to the wide leg forward bend. Breathing here, 3, 2, 1. And we'll come back to our right lunge in our front of the mat where we came from. And maybe through vinyasa again, maybe not. If you want to come with me, let's Asta Namaskar again to finish. Knees on the floor. Maybe a couple of cat and cow wind-ups again. And as you're ready, into the cobra. Maybe taking the arms forward into the Sphinx this time. And if you are not in the Sphinx, why doesn't everyone make their way to a Sphinx? Finishing with this more or less easeful back bend. Maybe it's not so easeful on your back, and if not, adjust where you have the elbows so that it is wide across the collarbones, reaching back through the legs. But you can reach and make all those actions less effortfully too. And then we'll come down, forehead or chin on the hands. Breathing into the back of the body. And that expansive space across your back. Ah. Ah. We will make our way around onto our back. You can go right into Shavasana if you want, or you're taking a moment doing my favorite, the figure four, or anything else you want to do. So if you're coming along with me, we're crossing the right leg over, reaching through the triangle. And switching sides, crossing the left leg over. And then we'll set the legs down, sliding them out the straight. Inhale and exhale. And then breathing back into your body, into the room. Moving the fingers and toes, circling wrists and ankles. Stretching the arms up overhead. And the knees. And then making your way up to sitting. Sitting in any comfortable position with the long and spacious spine. Taking another moment, sitting quietly inside yourself. And namaste. Thank you for coming. Let's see.